you've obviously, you've had a very interesting journey in filmmaking.
Yes.
You've come back to directing after a while. Was there fear of failure?
Oh, absolutely. I thought
Do you have fear of failure? Is it something else you live with?
Yeah. I'm extremely hard on myself. I'm very worried that I'm going to just totally destroy any good thing I've done. No, probably, and honestly, I was coming, though I had been working and part of film sets and writing and all the rest of it.
20-something years.
Yeah, no, and the gap was when I came back with this one. I was shooting in 2022, and my last release had been in 2011. So it had been more than 10 years since I had directed. So it was, there were multiple sort of stages of the worry. One was, of course, like, will I be able to do this? So much has changed in the film ecosystem, in a sense, technologically, technically. And just, what are people watching now? What is the kind of like sort of filmmaking because I'm not the kind who voraciously watches films and knows exactly what's happening. I don't watch it. In fact, haven't watched a lot, quite ashamed to admit. So the fear was really, how relevant am I? Am I going to be able to make something that people will want to watch? And then slowly, as I was going along, I was like, is it working? Are people going to laugh? And from one edit to the next, I was just like a state of nerves. Honestly, which is why now when I get this reaction, it's a sort of, I'm beginning to believe it. Let me just say, I'm beginning to believe that I made a good film.
So there is some imposter syndrome.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think, I don't know whether that's true of most people, because I've seen lots of people who are super confident of themselves. And I'm just like, where does this come from? Because like what you're saying is actually quite like is BS to me. I'm hearing BS. So, and so I think, I don't know about imposter syndrome. Is it a women's thing? I don't know.
I feel like more women have
it.
They might not be able to blanket, but more women have imposter syndrome than men do.
Yeah.
And remarkably successful women.
Yeah. Weird, huh? So yeah, I have it, a pretty bad case of it myself. And which is why I think it's hard to take compliments, because I'm genuinely disbelieving. For the first couple of weeks though, I just was like, thank you, but I just didn't believe any of it. Yeah.
You always assume that the people closest to you are just being polite.
Yeah.
They're just saying
we had this preview of the film, which was sort of like meant to be this grand premiere. Anyway, it was full of a lot of people that I knew and friends. And so therefore you feel like, okay, maybe it's just my friends. But the reaction from that preview was so good and so warm that I was like, are people just really happy that I made a film and then they can like be, it wasn't terrible, so they can be nice to me. But then that continued and I just kept feeling like, okay, people are just being really nice to me because, they're like, poor thing is making a film everyone's like, after 13 years, come back. So it's like always sort of predicated on that, like sort of like prefaced by the 13-year gap. But yeah, it's...
for me, there was one person who paid me a compliment, and it was such a warm compliment. I thought he was being sarcastic.
Oh.
I really mean that. It was like, wow, that was, that's an oddly nice thing to say. So I think there is this general, trouble to accept compliments.
Believing that you can do. I mean, I think it's quite healthy, honestly. It just makes me work really hard. I work really hard. One of the things that I appreciate about myself, and I'm learning to do that, which is like some new age thing I'm learning from youngsters about like the self-love and all. But that is like appreciating the fact that I try my best. I genuinely put in a lot of hard work, and I think that in itself is sort of should even say coming to an interview. I'm just like will I say something that Faye will be interested in.
Find interesting.
What you said, all those things come to your mind and you're like, have to tell yourself that no, you yourself are interesting enough.
Yeah.